Hello everyone and welcome back to Eve Market, your weekly look at the amarr market. Just gonna go straight afterwards the minerals, straight towards the prices. Let's see, titanium seems to be pretty normal price. Still, no, it seems to be going up still a little bit. 6 is easily heading even above 6.10. I see. Yesterday you're seeing an average above 6.10, today you're seeing above 6.10. The theme seems to be really going up in price. I see now there's small drops, but we're staying easily above the 6x per unit. It definitely seems to be still going up. It's definitely also going to be happening for the next week. I don't expect them to drop really. See, there are decent size amounts on the market here, but also big size orders people want to buy. 6.16 for the sellers and 6.03 for the buyers. Even the buyers, we went still above the 6 is just, but it's not too high above the 6 is. Still, you can see the average price is seems to be for the last 2 days going up again. For the rest of the days, it pretty much stays on the same line. But I see, especially because these last from the Saturday and Sunday today, it seems to be going up in price. I think we're definitely gonna see next week a little bit higher price for titanium. So 6.03 for the buyer's price, last week's price is exactly the same. So there's no difference on that. Ferrite, still very stable on price. I don't see any movement here, slightly ups, downs, but 5 and 20-day average still like right on top of each other. No changes here at all. Very stable. Very good to see this stable price. I don't expect anything more to happen on this next week. Or it's gonna respond a little bit later what titanium is doing, but I don't think that's gonna happen here. 12.25 for the sellers and 11.43 for the buyers. Buyer's price did went up compared to last week's. 11.03 was last week's price. So it is still going it is going up, but they're not really a huge size orders up, so it can drop pretty quickly on price. Maxilon is still going up in the price. You can clearly see we have a few points. There's one day here that was pretty low, below 59. It was lower, but for the rest it's all easily above the 60 and seems to be calling even further up. It's almost heading towards the 62. We're still a little bit low for today, still below the 61. I'm expecting this one to still pick up compared to the last 2 days here that went up. Or we get another low price, but I don't think that's gonna happen on Maxilon. Maxilon is clearly going up at the moment. 61.91 for the sellers, 59.07 for the buyers, clearly a higher price than last week. 58.05 was last week's price. Clearly Maxilon is going up. Then we have hydrogen. Hydrogen is still slowly dropping in price. Not quick, but it's very slowly dropping. Not even really huge movements. I see a quicker movement here on drop, but it covered the other day. But still, very slow drop in the price here. It's not going fast, but it is dropping. This seen a long time. This is going on. Especially will happen also next week. Will keep on dropping. Seller's price 104.99, so 105 for the sellers and 100.40 for the buyers. It's clearly a lower price compared to last week. 101.06 last week's price, so clearly that has been dropping a bit. Let's see, expecting this maybe a little bit more to drop on the upcoming week. There's a decent size order up here, so that one's gonna stay for a while. Yeah, maybe stabilizing around here or dropping or slight increase. It's hard to say because there's a decent size order up here for that. Then we have Noxium. Okay, right. Noxium is making a huge spike today. Unless someone bought in for the wrong price. But Noxium was dropping a bit in this last week. It was a bit dropping on price. Then the Friday suddenly went up to 480. Friday and Saturday, well, we're sitting closer to the 460. 465. And suddenly here on the Friday and Saturday we went up to the 480. And at the moment for the Sunday price we're sitting above the 540. It suddenly really spiked up a lot. So Noxium is suddenly making a huge jump up in price. I don't know if this is because someone bought in high. Someone did bought in for the highest price of 600 per unit. So there's not like a huge amount of sales suddenly. The sales are pretty normal, except for here level high there's a small increase in price too. That's normal. Then it just dropped again towards normal sales, but it's a huge increase. Let's look at the market. Let's see. Seller's price 595.96. I rounded up for the seller's price for Noxium. For the buyer's price 496.12. It is a slight increase, so someone has definitely been buying off the market a lot, and you can see here a ton of orders. I see now there's a huge amount of orders here up for 600, all 500,000 units. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 units of 500,000 units of Noxium for 600. And they're all pretty close placed together, so it's probably all one guy that's put this all on the market. And that's also about the only Noxium that's on the market. So I can probably say we're gonna maybe, if there's no supply coming in on the market in the coming week, I'm expecting Noxium to go up in price here to at least 600 or maybe even above it. But this is a lot of Noxium up here. 12 orders of half a million units. So this price may be gonna reach pretty quickly, or unless there's more coming in. 496.12 for the buyers. Last week's price of Noxium was 465. So that's an increase, not a huge amount. It's mainly the price going up because of the sellers. And there's just not a huge amount on the market. Someone had a good supply and put all on the market. Then Zynrid. Zynrid is going up. It was already going up last week a bit, but it definitely keeps on going up. We're seeing a huge spike here on the Saturday, a little bit lower for today on that. But above the above the 1200, I was almost saying 1.2 mil, but that's really expensive. It's above the 1200 now. For was it yesterday? It has dropped a little bit for today. Maybe it's a short spike. I doubt it. I think there's just at the moment maybe a shortage on the Zynrid on the market, but it definitely seems to be going up at the moment. And if there's a shortage, it will definitely keep on going next week. I don't see really a shortage on the market. For the seller's price, 1,226 for the sellers. For the buyers, we're sitting at, there's one guy with a really high price, 1,090 for him, but then we're gonna drop pretty quickly towards the 1,072. Last week's price of Zynrid was lower. Zynrid is definitely going up. If this keeps on going, definitely gonna hit 1,100 somewhere in the next week, I think. 1,010 was last week's price. So we're clearly going up This one can get fulfilled pretty quickly, but if there are more people definitely want to buy and sign with, probably see a price heading towards the 1100 on the upcoming week. Then we go for Megasite. Megasite is not really doing that. It is going up after a long time down. It was stable for about a week, around the same price, bits ups and downs, but sitting average in the same region. But we definitely see this beginning of this week we seem to start an increase in price for Megasite. For today we're even above the 1120. So it looks like Signwood is maybe at the moment more expensive than Megasite. Maybe it's close together for sure. We'll see in a moment price. But also Megasite definitely starting to go up in price again. Seller's price 1130. It's not in the amarr station, by the way, so 1139 in the hub itself for Megasite. For the buyers 1111. So that's definitely went up. 1051 was last week's price. So the prices are really close together still, Signwood and Megasite. It's only a 20-ish difference. But it's really close. Megasite should be a little bit higher really, but also Megasite definitely starting to go up in price. I cannot really say there's a shortage or anything on the market, but apparently people buying a lot. Then we have Morphite. Morphite definitely seems to be still sitting around the same range in prices. It's not really changed. It was sitting a little bit in a bigger range here, but it's sitting now in a smaller range clearly, between 11,400 and the 1,600 range. On average it has been going up the price this week. It's sitting very stable, closely to the 11,400. But we see it clear on the Saturday and Sunday, the slight drop in price. 11,194 for the sellers, 10,627 for the buyers. It's a slight increase of 10 compared to last week's price. Last week's was 10,617. So that's only a slight increase on that price. Then we take a look at some salvage. How much time we have? We have enough time. I was a little bit late, so I was a bit worried if I had enough time to record. Armor plates are still going up in price. This definitely looks like not gonna end soon. Citadels are getting closer, so maybe people starting to plan out what they want with their citadels, how they want the equipment with what rigs. So clearly armor plates are still going up in price. Yesterday, the Saturday, was sitting on its highest price at the moment. Sunday is not really that high. We're heading here for almost 99,000. Looks like 98,500. It was here on the Saturday price, the average price. But armor plates definitely going up, and expecting this one to keep on going next week. Seller's price we're almost over the 100,000 per unit. Sitting at the moment at 99,800. That's more than 500 units. And for the buyer sitting at 96,202. That is surprisingly lower than last week's price. Last week's price for the buyers was 96,251. So the buyer's price clearly went down. Seller's price is clearly going up. So a lot of people buying armor plates straight off market. Maybe the order's not getting fulfilled. Oh wow. So armor plates, seller's price going up, buyer's price is going down. So that's this spike here is all from sellers, because there's no supply going to the market at the moment here. So that's the reason my armor plates now going up in price. But logic circuits still going up after this dip here about 1.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. Clearly see my burn logic still went up in price with a small drop here, but still going up in price. Highest price it reached around Wednesday at the moment, 67,000 per unit. Then it dropped back down again towards the 66,000 per unit, but it's still going up in price. Expecting this one definitely to keep on going next week. Seller's price, that's a good size order even. 68,945 for the sellers. For the buyers, 66,312. Clearly higher than last week's price. 64,970 was last week's price. Burnt logic circuits are still going rapidly up in price. Of course, this is again a new record price for burnt logic circuits. It just keeps on beating the record prices of this year and the overall recording of the burnt logic circuits. It really keeps on going higher and higher, this price. There doesn't seem to be an end coming to this soon. Fried interface circuits going up a bit of price after a really bumpy last week, of the week before that. This whole week it seems to be pretty stabilized around the 4,800, pretty stable, but not quite stable. It is very slightly going up in price. Very slightly. Expecting this one, let's see a little bit on a bigger month scale, because I think this one was going down for a while. Yeah, it came down from a high price, 5,200 or higher even. So expecting this one to start going up again on the next week and the weeks after that. Expecting fried interface circuits going on a higher price. Seller's price 5,098. That's clearly more than 500 units. For the buyer's price 4,809.60 or 76 for the buyers. Last week's price was 4,760, so clearly that went up in price. And melted capacitor consoles, they are still sitting pretty much around the same range, 7,500 per unit between and 8,000, even a little bit higher. At one point here that was clearly higher, 8,200 units, but they're sitting still pretty much between the 7,500 and 8,000 range. It's not really going anywhere. There seems to be someone getting lucky here today. 6,211 lowest price, highest price 8,500 at the moment. But yeah, it's still sitting pretty much around the same range for melted capacitor consoles. Not a lot on the market, so we can expect maybe a price increase next week for melted capacitor consoles. 8,482.63 for the sellers and 7,500 for the buyers. That's pretty much the same price as last week's, but 6 is lower. 7,506 was last week's price, so not really a big change here, except for the sellers. Trip power circuits. After an increase, we've seen suddenly this week a drop in price. Heading for the 29,000. Did not reach it. It's sitting just above it, but it's slowly increasing in price of trip power circuits. We're gonna see definitely this one also going on next week, and maybe see a drop, but I don't expect that on. There's a very low data point here. Someone managed to get it in for just below the 22,000. So that's one guy that's lucky, but clearly see that it's going to increase in price upcoming week. It's sitting just above the 29,000. Seller's price. It's going to be a hard one to get more than 500 units. Right here, 31,250 rounded up for the seller's price. For the buyer price, yeah, it's 42 units that can be filled so quickly. 29,300 for the buyer's price. Clearly that is a lower price than last week. Last week's price was 30,621. So that's some decent drop in price of this. Oh, clearly see here, this price is going up. But we had this drop, so the drop is clearly on the buyer's price that a lot of orders got fulfilled. So there's the drop in price at the moment. Last check, 30 the Plex. As I said last week, no more the logic frigates and the new command destroyers. Plex is clearly going up in price again. He's trying to get towards the 1.2 billion isk. You can see it went up to around the middle of the week and now slightly starting to drop in price. And again, seems to be someone got lucky and got a Plex for 167 million isk. Someone got really lucky. That's the lowest price for today. So someone got really lucky again with a Plex. But you see also last week's one disappeared. That was very low. I think we had one last week. And so maybe it's a data error or something. I see Plex definitely went up, but it seems to be slightly going down. At least for a few 1 or 2 days. We can clearly see for the Senate, so it's pretty much on the same price. I think Plex is going to bounce around between the 1.1 and 1.2 billion ISK. That is going to stay between there. Oh, this is a little bit short. There we go. 1.170 billion for the seller's price. For the buyer's price in 1.139 billion. That is an increase in the price of Plex. 1.120 billion was last week's price. So clearly this is also going up again. I don't think Plex is definitely gonna get much higher on that price. But that's where it's sitting at right now. So this was this week's look at the amarr market. Done a little bit quick, was a little bit late. It's still a 22-minute video. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all next week again. We're gonna take a look at the market. And fly safe.